Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe football show. It's time for your Leeds versus Everton preview. No video yesterday. Needed a day of rest. So what we're going to do is cover Mike Skubala's press conference and, of course, look ahead to the first of two relegation six-pointers. Before we do get into it, as is always the case, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and, of course, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it.
I don't think I do it.
Arsenal started like house on fire.
Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. So, folks, if you don't already know and you have been living under a rock, Michael Skubala will take charge of these two huge games in what could be a pivotal moment in the season for Leeds United and whether there'll be a Premier League team come the end of it. He was speaking, obviously, on Thursday and was asked how big of an opportunity this was to go and get 3 points. And, he said, look, we need to get 3 points. We're excited to get 3 points. I'm happy to support the club in this phase right now. He even started to talk about maybe potentially in the future, if things go well, maybe being the guy to lead this team. He said that Victor had been very great and very supportive, second aboard. And he said, look, I'm not overwhelmed by this situation I find myself in. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited. I love coaching and working with top players. And if I'm here in the future, then so be it, And listen, I don't think any of us would begrudge it, as mad as it is. Like, I know I've said we need someone with experience. But if Michael Skubala won these next two and we started to climb up the table, at the end of the season, you could be looking at it and going, just give him the job. And he understands the importance of these games as well in the context of the season. He did say, look, every game is tough in the Premiership, but we as fans, and he knows secretly that this is massive, even for him to even stay in charge, if you like. If he wins these next two, Leeds United will say, you know what, give it him to the end of the season. So he knows that as well, and so do the players as well. And just while we're on the players, big shout out to my man Luke Ayling, who got himself a new year extension, well deserved. Right decision. We've got 3 right backs at the club, maybe 2 if you consider obviously that Cody is on loan, and Ayling's been the best of the bunch, and in these last 2 games has really stood up and shown why he's in that leadership group, if you like, why he's looked to within this squad as one of the most experienced players, one of the heads, a great leader, and he's put in 2 captains' performances against Manchester United. And Michael Skubala said himself he does things the right way on and off the pitch and performs well. And that's what great leaders must do. And we can't look at them last 2 games and say that Luke Ayling hasn't been one of the best Leeds United players on the pitch, because he is. And that's fact. And just a bit of injury news from the press conference as well. Pascal's back in training. Obviously, he missed out last game due to his concussion. Whether or not Pascal will come in, we'll chat on that, because I think Firpo probably deserves to keep his place. He said Cooper and Rocker a touch and go. I need Rocker to be fit. We need to be matching them up for their midfield. We'll touch on this, but we need someone who's going to be able to progress the ball and create chances for Leeds United, for the attackers, on a more consistent basis. And for me, that man is Mark Rocker. He says Sonny Perkins is back on the pitch. So he said, look, I'm happy to have strength coming back into the squad. It'd be interesting to see if Michael Skubala would turn to someone like Perkins, having worked with him more often, obviously, in the 21s, as opposed to turning to Rutter, because Rutter's still yet to get up to speed to English football for me. And he did say Sinisterra is still a way back, and that's a big loss. As good as Somerville and Nantes are, for me, Cini, once he gets a run of, say, 10 games on the bounce, I think, it'd be massive for this side. Almost Rafinha-esque. Big up Rafinha as well, by the way, who got a goal and assist against Manchester United. Big up my man. Once Leeds, always Leeds. Skubala talked as well about his competition. Obviously, Sean Dyche, he said, listen, I've met him many, many times. He's a great manager, and it will be tough going up against him. But like him and like the squad, they are all excited to go and try and get 3 points. He spoke about the importance of the senior players, the leadership group, which is something that, stayed after Jesse Marsh has left. I'm not too sure I like it. I don't know. Leadership group. I don't know. But it is what it is. Listen, you always have to turn to your more experienced heads, like the likes of Dallas, Ayling, Cooper. Even though Dallas and Cooper haven't been involved in these last two, they're still massive in and around that dressing room. And I know a lot of people would like to see the old guard moved on, but for me, they're so important to Leeds United. They get it. I know it's cliche, but they do. They've been here long enough in the bad times, dark times, to, you know, Bielsa's tenure and beyond. And we need them. They need to bring these young players on so that they're not overawed by the occasion, because Everton's going to be tough at the weekend. Goodison Park is going to be a tough place for any team to go, and these experienced heads, you know, we need them. You know, and you could argue in the two games against Manchester United, the experienced heads, the old guard, if you like, with the best players on the pitch, the likes of Bamford, the Harrison, and of course Luke Ayling. And then you look to players like McKennie and Adams, who've had experience at top level football. You cannot undervalue the importance of experience. The team enjoyed playing against Man United. You know, Skubala said they got lots from it, but ultimately we need to get points. And Skubala said, look, I've been enjoying my job. I'm enjoying putting together plans and working with the team to get points. He spoke specifically about that midfield three that they have and how physical it'll be. And he said we need to win that battle, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on. But it is so strong. Onana, Idrissa Gana Gueye and Doucouré. We need to be up for that fight. I believe Weston, McKennie and Adams will be and can stand up to that test, but we still need to be able to create. That's why I'm advocating bringing in Mark Rocker if he is fit. Just finally on the press conference, Michael Skubala was asked about his decision to take off Bamford against Man United. I think we can all look at that now and say that Ten Hag won that battle by him bringing on Martinez, moving shorter left back, who ultimately got the assist for the first goal. Lisandro Martinez, very, very good on the ball in terms of progressing it up the pitch as well. And our subs just didn't work. You know, Rutter wasn't great, and we lost our shape with no Harrison on the pitch. And when he made that sub, I missed it at the time, but it's been picked up a few times about how Ayling reacted. And Michael Skubala said, listen, I've spoken with the players about that. And what I liked, he was quite bullish. He was like, listen, and whether or not Bamford thinks I'm right or not, I tried to make the best decisions for the team at that time. He gave his own, opinion that he thought Rutter could get him behind, etc. It didn't come off. Other times it will, but that's what you get paid for, I guess, at the top level. And that's why Ten Hag's considered such a great tactician. He's worked, ours didn't. Call it inexperience, I'm not too sure. But I think it was quite bullish from Skubala to say, listen, they might not like it, but ultimately I'm the guy who's going to make the decision. And we need that. We need that. No pandering. No pandering. That's why I don't quite like the leadership group as much. I guess they've got them at every club. Henderson at Liverpool. I'm just thinking over the years as well, there's always probably going to be a cohort, and maybe it's just that Americanism of leadership group that I'm not really on board with. I don't know. It's not really big, is it, really? If I'm being totally honest, am I looking for things to be negative about? Potentially. The club's done this to me, man. The club's drove me into this hole that I find myself in now. But listen, we do have Everton a weekend, and what a huge game it is. Just look, Everton, Sean Dyche came in the door after 4 days in the Premier League lead as Arsenal 1-0. Great result against, a team that were running away with the league. They have faltered a little bit and have failed to win in 3 now. So is it as good? It's still a great result. It is what it is. But then Everton obviously went to Liverpool, Anfield, and got humbled a little bit and were beaten 2-0. But the key thing in them 2 fixtures for me is Goodison Park. And Goodison Park really, really worries me as a Leeds United fan. I think that's where they're going to, if they're going to stay up, which I think they might, and it could be at our expense. I hope it's not. I hope Skubala gets results and we stay in the division. But Goodison Park is a tough place to go at any time of the season. And I think Sean Dyche will just, really feed into that. He's even come out and said there's a different feel to this football club at home. And it's actually highlighted by the fact that Everton have lost only once in 15 games against us at Goodison Park. So we don't have a great record of going there. And listen, they've won 7 and drawn 7. So could the best Leeds United hope for could be a point? 'Cause as I say, we've only won 1 in 15 times going to Goodison Park. It's such a tough place to go for any side, but 1 win in 15 doesn't make for great reading. And could you take a point and look to get 3 against Southampton? I think we would, really. Of course, we need to win the game, but you just can't lose. Skubala knows that. The team knows that. And Yeah, I think I probably would take a point at this point, just knowing how good they are at Goodison Park and how poor our record is there. And for anyone as well, like that's clinging on to the fact that it was the wrong decision to get rid of Jesse Marsh, if we failed to win tomorrow at Goodison Park, it would equal Leeds United's fewest league wins across a 20-game span that dates back to August 1947, having only won 2 games in the first 20 if we fail to win. And that's due to the previous manager. Skubala's only had 2 games in this, but the previous, if we don't win, it equals our worst record for number of wins after 20 games, dating back to August 1947. So anyone clinging on to that idea that it's the wrong decision, they should have had a plan, etc., I agree with that bit about them having a plan, but Jesse's still leading this ship doesn't get us wins. I still stand by that. It's now 9 league games without a win. Leeds United need to start winning and winning quick, otherwise we will go down. And listen, there are some positives to take. Everton are without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's going to be key for what Everton try and do under Sean Dyche. I think Sims, the young lad, only 22, was given the previous game. I'm not sure Dyche favours Maupay. We might see Maupay start up top, but it could be Sims. And another positive is that Everton have only scored just 1 open play Premier League goal since October. That doesn't make for great reading for them. But also, when I read that, I'm like, Leeds United, hold my beer, because you can almost be certain that they probably will get an open play goal against us. But that's one area we need to work on as well, is set pieces. If that stat continues for them, with them only scoring 1 in open play since October, then their goals are going to come from set pieces. So Skubala, etc., really need to work on that to make sure we're defending them appropriately. Because too many times this season we've seen players sleeping, not marking their men properly, and chances coming from them, even on the edge of the box, for whatever reason, not tracking runners, not even defending the edge of the box. That needs to change tomorrow, because, like I say, the likes of Tarkowski, Cody, etc., they'll be all over it from set pieces. Furthermore, as well, obviously, the last time we were at Goodison Park, it was actually a 1-1 draw. Goals from Anthony Gordon, who's now at Newcastle, and Luis Sinisterra, who, of course, unfortunately, is injured. But I could see more of the same in this game. I reckon we could see a 1-1 draw. Would I take that? Yes. Do I think Everton will score? Yes, probably from a set pieces. But I do believe we will score from open play as well. They haven't been keeping a lot of clean sheets, as good as they are at Goodison Park, or will be under Sean Dyche. I still think we can get something from the game. It's a must not lose. Like the atmosphere going into Southampton, if we did fail to win this game, I just couldn't even begin to think the pressure could even tell in that game against Southampton at Ellen Road if Leeds United did get beat on Saturday. Now, according to SofaScore, this is how likely the teams are due to line up, and I don't think it's much wrong, really. I think the teams are almost bang on. I think for me, from a Leeds United perspective, if I could, I probably would change maybe Somerville, if I'm being totally honest. And the reason that I do that is I'd have Jack Harrison out on the left, I'd put Nonto out on the right, and I would have Mark Rocker in there. I definitely think we should go with a 4-3-3. Bring Jack Harrison out of the 10, if you like, how he's pictured there in the 4-2-3-1, because I think we need someone who's going to be able to progress the ball from midfield, and I think we need to match them up. Their midfield 3 is so strong, with Onana, Idrissa Gana Gueye, and Decore, so physical, and we need to match them up man for man in there as well. But we also can't negate our possibility to create chances. Mr. Progressive Pass himself, Mark Rocker, will give us that. I know not a lot of Leeds fans rate him, but given time, given space in this system, or the way that at least Skubala's, opted to use these players, we've seen a lot more width and players picking it up in much more space, and therefore having more time on the ball. I think he can make them precision passes that will get Leeds United through 1 goal. Patrick Bamford needs to have his shooting boots on. Like I say, the fact that his counterpart, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, doesn't play is massive for us. Don't know much about Ellis Sims, but as I know that he played last time out against Liverpool. Iwobi, Dwight McNeil, full of running. You know, they'll be up and down them flanks. And as I say, defensively, really good. Patterson being out, still a plus for us, because as good as Coleman is in terms of experience and stuff, I'm not sure he has the legs of Patterson. Mikalenko, I do like. And as I say, them two centre-backs are rocks and great in either box. So we need to be wary of that. But I don't think we'll see many changes from that. We could see the same lineup that went up against Manchester United. But for me, I would bring Mark Rocker in there. And if that means, you know, Somerville dropping out, then so be it, because I think Jack Harrison has to play as well, just from a structural sense, and he can run all day. You know, for me, I just don't take him off the football pitch if we're going to defend the way that we do. It's going to be interesting to see how Leeds United do when the impetus is on them to maybe break down, you know, a low to mid block, because these are the teams that we've struggled against under Jesse Marsh. People say there hasn't been that many changes. I can see a few, more so than just little tweaks that Skubala tells us about. But this is the true acid test for me now. 2 games against teams that Leeds United should be getting points against for me. No, and hopefully we do that. Hopefully we can stop this barren run without any wins, and Leeds United can pick up 3 points. But if I'm being honest, I did predict a loss earlier on in the week. Times have passed now. I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident, and I think we can get at least a point. I think it's going to be 1-1 with goals from Patrick Bamford, and they'll probably get one from Kodikodi or Tarkowski in the set piece. Just don't make fouls, just don't give them corners, and we should be all right. But that's easier said than done against this Everton team. It's going to be a tough afternoon, a tough game, but hopefully Leeds United can get something from it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel. Get your notification bell on, because I will be doing a watch along tomorrow, and I will see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.